Hello Commanders, welcome back to another Elite Dangerous video. Alright, going back to what I was talking about, today we're going to talk about how to make some, I'd say, easy enough cash, just so we can start getting out of the draw me system and actually into the real world. I know I said I'd show you how to make more cash to, what's it called, buy fertilants and all that shit, but I can do that later on. Okay, so, let's start off. So you're in your, what do you call it? You're in your dock, you're in your station, right? And you could do missions, right? As I'll show you here real quick. You could do missions and, slowly get money like this, right? Because, 25, 38, blah, blah, blah. It's all good. However, unfortunately, you're thinking of the bigger picture because you want more money, like in the millions, right? Yeah, fun fact, many Elite Dangerous players are in the billions with a B. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. So you want money, right? Well, let's show you how to make that money. So, in case you're wondering, it's kind of been an old technique, and I'll even link a video in the description to show you how to make more money better from another YouTuber called Hawks Gaming. He's more popular in this area because he's the one that really kind of focuses on currency. But anyway, let's get started. So, what you want to do is generally you want to go to something called a resource extraction site, or a HAZRES site as we call it. Basically, and you lock it into the destination, this place, right, is essentially where all the not so good NPCs are. And what I mean by that is all the NPCs that have bounties. And bounties make a lot of money in this game. At least now they do. Originally, what? Alright, that's weird. Anyway, originally, God, this is why I hate Sidewinder. It just feels so wonky. One more time, let me say it. Originally, bounties in this game used to be kind of meh in terms of collecting money, simply because, well, they weren't really optimized. It was more for like, wow, all the engines. Wow, that's insane. Anyway, so it was really more for mining low temperature diamonds, which will also be another way we're going to make money after we get to a certain plateau doing this. But, so yeah, right now, at the moment, we want to go with HAZRES sites. Because not too long ago, Frontier, the developers of this game, heard the many complaints that people had in regards to, how do you make money? And they said, people have been saying, like, mining is kind of broken in the regards, and any other way to make money, like, being a space taxi or shooting down criminals, just wasn't cutting it. So Frontier looked at the problems and said, okay, fine, we get it. And because we get it, we're going to fix it. So, basically, in this game, kind of like in the Star Wars universe, there will be things called bounties. Now, what bounties are, I'm sure you kind of understand, is a hit price on whether it be a player or an NPC for committing crimes against any star system in this galaxy. So when they have a bounty, it can range from somewhere as low as 10,000 credits all the way up to 200,000 credits. Now what that means is on face value, right? You'll see right up here in the top right corner where it says info, when you kill somebody with a bounty, it'll say a certain amount of credits, right? However, because of the new patch that Frontier has put in, if you go all the way to a transactions panel, you'll notice that the bounty will actually be multiplied by a few times more than what it's presenting. And basically, the lore of it is the security forces around different systems in the universe, or sorry, galaxy, don't want to admit that they have, problems in their system. So they'll actually pay you more money to get rid of the baddies, while on face value on criminal records and, system, what do you call it? I guess criminal files or whatever, they'll say they paid you less. So it's kind of like under the table payment systems, basically. Anyway, going back to this. So there are actually there are 5 types of HAZRES sites. So there's ones without anything, as you can see here. They're empty. They don't have it's a kind of signature name to them. There's ones that are low, if I can find any, as you can see here. Ones that are high, sorry, ones that are medium, not here in the system, but there are here, ones that are high, and then there are ones that are hazardous. From low to high, what that means is there will be police force agencies to actually help you take out these guys, and you'll still collect the bounty on them, even if you don't do the full damage amount. Okay, just as long as you hit them within the time frame that they're going to die from the police force, you'll get the full amount. The ones without the names, like low, medium, high, the ones that are empty, or the ones that say hazardous, those are the ones that don't have any police force. The ones without a name typically don't spawn a lot of NPCs, if any at all, but hazardous spawns ships from the medium class, sometimes small, all the way up to the large class, with bounties ranging from a few 100,000 to 300,000 or greater. Typically speaking, for new players, you want to go to an extraction site that's high, because there will be medium to large ship spawns with a lot of bounties on them, but there will be security forces that will assist you in getting those bounties. Now, normally, like I've said before, you would actually use Super Cruise Assist on this. I don't need to do that because, well, I've been playing this game long enough that if I still needed that, unless I'm kind of, lazy and don't really want to find myself out there, then I got a problem. Alright, so, you jump into the station and you ask yourself, well, what do I do next? What you want to do next, as you rightfully should, is whip out your weapons and get ready for some combat. Make sure you use the A button to target the people and scan them. Don't shoot them until you see on the bottom left corner where it says here, you see it says Revolutionary Shotgun Partnership. It doesn't say wanted, which means he doesn't have a bounty on him. So we're trying to find somebody that does have a bounty on them. This guy, he does. However, issue is, we're flying a piece of paper, or, a box of tissue paper. So, generally speaking, we're probably not going to kill this guy on our own. We kind of want to wait until security forces get here, right? And usually they're here within a few minutes or so. Now, fun fact, sometimes the the NPCs will actually target other NPCs because they notice they have a bounty, right? So, we'll take this guy for an example. You see that he has a bounty. He's wanted, right? But we don't know what his bounty is. Now, there is a way to check, but you don't really need to know that for this. So, we know he's wanted. However, here's another thing that we got to keep in mind. If you look at his name, you'll see something above the wanted. It says Master. That is his piloting skill, and the weapons as well as equipment that he possibly have. Meaning, the higher the rank, the more damage that they'll do to you, the greater chance you'll die. However, the greater the bounty. Now let's look at this guy, Krilly. So he's being attacked by, well, guess what? The two guys are wanted. Probably because, well, look at that. No, that's not it. He's got proximity mines, but they're trying to break into his cargo because good chances he probably has some stuff worth taking. Now, fortunately, I want to attack, but issue is there aren't any security forces here to help. Unless, if I'm not mistaken, and there they are. All right, great. You see how these guys are attacking them? Now is our chance to do some damage. Now, normally you want to wait until the shields are down and until they're about 30% health. Because like I said, if he's a ranked master, right, and you just started this game, they will kill you instantly. You want to be patient on this, and it's really important. Fortunately, this fucking Sidewinder is also slow as hell, so good luck trying to get to them real fast. I know, exciting gameplay, but honestly, you're gonna want to do this because you need to get out of the Sidewinder if you really want to have a good time. So it appears our friend is getting down low on his health, right? He's about, yeah, 30%. I'd say now you want to start firing. And when you start firing, you'll notice that the triangles went red. That means he is now your enemy. But it won't really matter because the whole police force is trying to kill this guy too. And you'll notice he's dead, right? You see how it says 25,000? So we got credit for killing that guy, right? Let me just take him out real quick too. Or at least do some hurt. So we got credit for killing that guy, but you notice it actually says 111,000. Just like I was saying. The game will say that you got a certain amount of money, but in reality you got more. So initially, to start off the game well, you want to go to these hazardous sites, right? And basically just kill these dummy AIs until you get a good enough ship to do better. Whatever you do, never shoot a system authority vessel. That's the best way to get in trouble. And by get in trouble, I mean get yourself killed. Oh, look, there's another guy. He's a master. I don't know. Let's go for ones that are being targeted. How about this guy? Once a police force are in the system, it's pretty easy to just sit back, shoot, and collect the money. However, you gotta be careful, because unless you're experienced, I guarantee you, these guys will try to kill you as well. Now you hear that? Frameship charge detected. That means he's trying to get out of here. We don't want to let him do that. If he gets out of here, we lose the money. So my best advice, just keep shooting until he dies. Or until hopefully the police get him. And it doesn't look like they're gonna. Oh! No, correct me wrong. I guess they did. So it says, what, 29,000, but in actuality, we're already at 360,000. Now, you know what's great about that? We already have enough money to buy ourselves a Cobra Mark III, one of the best ships in this game for beginners and medium class. Well, sorry, not medium, small class. And we only killed, like, what, 2, 3 guys? It really didn't take that long. However, and a big however, you probably want a little bit more money than just that. So, with that in mind, I'm going to pause here, and when I come back, I should have just a little bit more money than, you know, say 300,000. We want to, well, I would recommend to go in the ballpark of about 2 mil. Because if you're at 2 mil, then you'll sit pretty comfortably. Alright, so, I'm going to stop here, and I'll see you when I get 2 mil. Alright, Commanders, so I'm back. Alright, I know I said 2 mil, but you know what? Looking back at it, it's probably best to go for something more of a safer number. Looking at the situation, they're in a win of 3, so I don't think I'll be able to really do much. Okay, that's fine. Alright, so let's say for the moment, or for the time being, you made 841,000 credits, you know, dollars, whatever. But it's already better than what we've made through missions, again, only 25,000 each, right? You're gonna ask yourself, well, what do I do now? Like I have the credits here, right? But if you look all the way to your status, it's still, you only got 51,000. So what are you gonna do? Well, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go back to that station and turn the bounties in. You know, like if you've ever seen something like, I don't know, Cowboy Bebop, right? You know, so whenever he like gets his bounty or whatever, he turns into like a police place, and then boom, he gets some money or whatever. Same thing here. We got to go back to the Mossing Dock station and turn our credits in, and then we'll get our money. It's important to remember, right? No matter what you do, whether it's a mission or, you know, getting credit bounties or anything, you will not get that money if you die. You must survive. Whoops, sorry. You must survive in order to turn it into any station or substation or land surface station to get the money. Also, you notice when I press Y to get back into hyper cruise or super cruise state, it says, you know, frame shift cancel, mass lock. You see at the bottom right there too, just under the fuel. Basically, what that means is we were still a little bit too close to the area over here where we kind of jumped into normal space out of, and you have to get at least 5 to 7 kilometers away in order to go back into normal space, or super cruise space. This is normal space. Anyway, so we got our 800,000 credits. Now we just need to go back to Moss and Dock. Nothing's happening here. Nothing but dust and dirt here. You know, I don't blame them. That's basically what it is. And you'll notice that these guys kind of repeat the same shit over and over and over. Nothing particularly special there. Oh, looks like we got a guy tailing us. Too bad for him. We're going to be out of here soon. If it ever charges us out of here.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Alright, great. So, on our way back to Moss and Dock. You know what, for this part, I'm just gonna, you know, again, Super Cruise Assist, because I'm lazy. Why not? Doesn't hurt. You'll notice that I did take a little bit of damage. I didn't get that $800,000 unscathed. Issue was, what's it called? Issue was, the police forces that were supposed to be accompanying me and doing most of the work weren't always there, and I was picking fights with master level NPCs that had much better ships than I did, but I still killed them. So, you know, it's time and experience will get you enough, but you definitely want to get something better than this POS before you do it. You can actually even see on my ship, right? I'll even show you. Where is it? Unless, oh, I guess you can't see it in Super Cruise state. But earlier, like, my ship had scratches and everything on it. I guess it looks brand new now. Alright, well, whatever. Could have sworn it had scratches. Could have sworn it had scratches. That's okay. And now this must disorient you like crazy. Well, in the meantime, they actually put a life pack in here, or you know, a medic bag, because say for situational purposes, the ship decides to blow up on us. That's definitely going to come in handy in the vacuum of space. Now, I heard from a lower standpoint, when you die, basically what happens is you go into an escape pod just as you're about to explode, and somebody picks you up eventually. But imagine being like hundreds of thousands of light years away from any civilization that happens. It's like, yeah, that's believable. Somebody would definitely send somebody all the way out there just to pick up a lone pilot. But then what about all the other guys you kill? Well, you see, they're not the main characters, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, back to Moss and Dock. Oh shit. Well, if it does that, press RT and Y, and then fly down. You know why? Because look at that. The planet was in our way, so of course Super Cruise Assist wasn't going to work through that. If you don't press RT and Y, and you fly into the planet, you won't blow up, but it will damage your ship. So let's realign our ship with the Super Cruise, and we got it. And let's go back to the station. Once again, gotta go to contacts, request to dock, bring your speed to 0, and I'll actually be lazy in this one too, because I want to turn this back on. And your advanced computer will do the rest. The only problem with auto docking is you gotta hear this song every single time. And sure, it's kind of cool the first time because you can like look around space and enjoy the scenery while this song plays. But after about like a few hundred times, you're gonna get that song stuck in your head. You know, do 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 do. and you would hope the sounds of the engines or anything else would kind of drown it out. Nope. I mean, you could turn off the music in this game, but then you gotta fly through space without any music in the background as ambience. And that, honestly, it just wouldn't be good. Okay, so, you got your 800,000 credits, right? Land. Let's fix this up real quick. You got your 800,000 credits, right? You got the money. And you gotta ask yourself, so what do I do next? What do I do next? God almighty fork outlets. Well, you go to Starport Services. Now, remember how we went to the mission board to turn our stuff in? Well, check it. We never picked up any of these missions, so we don't have anything to turn in. Instead, whatever system you're in that you collected the bounties from, you go to contacts. And you'll usually have like around 8 different contacts, but this one only has 3. So, you're going to think, oh, I'll go to combat bond contact because, you know, it was combat based and I got the stuff from that. You'll be wrong. You don't go to combat bonds. That's for conflict zones, and I'll get into that much later in another video. But for this one, you actually go to authority contacts because these are the guys that are going to give you the money. Because, you know, the authorities are the ones that are paying you in the system, not the people that are funding things for war. That's what a combat bond is for. It's for war. Authority is bounties in the system or other systems, depending on certain things. So, you redeem your stuff, and boom, 892,000, just like that. Now you've got cash to do something with, and you get an achievement. I found you, whatever that means. Oh, cash and a bounty. So, cordial. Okay. Now, you gotta be kidding me, really? Wow, okay. That's apparently an achievement. I didn't even remember that. So anyway, you got 892,000 credits, and you're gonna ask me, so why did we spend, really, realistically speaking, it's like 10, 20 minutes to get that much money. Why did we spend 10, 20 minutes going into the hazardous site where I potentially would have died, or could have died? Well, because you, like everybody else, wants to go to the next bigger, better ship. And if you look at the stats between these two, right, in regards to, let's say, top speed, boost speed, maneuverability, jump range, for how far you can jump in between different systems, cargo, weapons, everything else, you'll notice that you probably want this ship. It's got more weapons, it's got more space, it's faster, it has a greater jump range. Maneuverability isn't as good, but that's only down by 1. But everything else is pretty awesome, right? So that's what we're doing this for. We're doing this to get bigger, better ships to expand our own story. Now keep in mind, Elite Dangerous, while it has some form of narrative that's based on community efforts, it does not have a campaign. It does not have a story. The story that it has is the one that you purposefully make for it. And my story, in my own actual account, is literally just blowing everything up that I see, because, you know, it's fun. You know, kind of like roleplay. Like Skyrim without any real objectives, you could say. Okay, so, now that we have this much money, they'll give you 2 options. Store current ship or exchange current ship. So basically, what this means is, you could buy the ship right now, and the one you're holding right now, the one you're in, will go into your shipyard, and it'll stay there until you want it back or until you switch it out. This one means that you will actually take the current value of your ship with all its modules like weapons, you know, ships inside of it, little cars, all that stuff. It'll take all the value of it at a certain percentage and actually put it into your bank account, which means you lose the ship and everything you bought for it, but you can get it back as an exchange. So say that we want to buy a ship that's 50 million, right? We only have 10 million, but the value of our ship as a exchange is 45 million, right? So we do that, and we now have 55 million. And as we buy the new ship that's 50 million, we cross that out, Now we have 5 million in the bank. We got rid of our old ship and everything in it, but we have our new 50 million ship that we wanted. This ship, the Sidewinder, because you just started the game, its value is 0. It's 0. It doesn't have a value. So, we'll just buy it. We'll buy a new ship and store this POS Sidewinder in the shipyard and never touch it again unless you're really bored. Alright. And you'll see that every new ship has its own cockpit, has its own exterior, has its own everything. And boom! Check it out. Now we're in the Cobra Mark III. And this beauty, oh, yeah, it's got another seat, which means another commander in multiplayer could actually join you in here. And let's look at the interior of it real quick. So here's us. You know, it's spacey enough, I guess. You can't see the entire interior, just the cockpit. But you can also see the exterior. And you'll see it's bigger than the Sidewinder. In this game, bigger means more fun. Well, for some people. It eventually kind of plateaus, but yeah, no, it's bigger. And with Odyssey, you'll actually be able to leave this ship and see just how big it is for your own eyes. Alright, so now you're thinking, okay, we got our new ship. Let's go out into the universe and have fun. Nope. You know why? We still have 500,000 credits left. You know what that means? That means it's time to deck our ship out. Or at least deck enough that we can be comfortable with what we're trying to do. So, you want to go to outfitting. And outfitting is basically what it says. You're going to outfit your ship for the role that you want it. So, let's start off with weapons. You see these pew-pews? They're grade 1. And grade 1 means not very good. The weakest grade there is, usually you want to sell them for additional money, but they're the weakest grade there is because that's what every ship starts off with. So we want to make our ship a little bit more combat focused, simply because, you know, the galaxy is dangerous. We will encounter people to fight, we will encounter people to kill. Now you're going to ask me, okay, so what should I have for my weapons if I need, you know, to shoot? Well, there's three different kind of, well, there's a few different kinds of attacks, but the three you want to focus on is thermal, weapons like these that do damage to shields, right? Kinetic, weapons like the multican that does damage to hull. And then there's plasma, but it's not here. So unfortunately, while I would like to use these weapons, there's only a few of them that are actually gimbaled. Now, going back to what I was talking about a while ago, in regards to weapons, there's three classifications aside from their grades. You see how it says 2D versus 1E? The higher the grade, the number, and the difference in the letter will determine how much more powerful the weapon is. Now, the difference in the letter also signifies whether it is gimbaled. Actually, no, I'm sorry. My mistake. No, that is true. For weapons, it's regards to if it's usually a gimbaled. This isn't a gimbaled. This is. You see that weird kind of symbol below the dot on the 1E? That means gimbal. That means so long as you hold down the fire and you're looking at the target, your weapons will automatically track the enemy and shoot them for you. Basically, as long as you hold down the button. Then there's the fixed. And it'll even tell you, like, right there. You know, you see the crosshairs, but if you look directly at the picture of the weapon on top left, it'll even tell you right there, fixed. What that means is, so long as you hold down the fire button and you look at the enemy, you have to orient your ship at exactly the right point as to where the other ship is flying to hit it. The ship, your ship, won't really know where to hit. It's kind of like the difference between aim assist and no aim assist. This is aim assist. This is no aim assist. This is better, but this does more damage. As you can see, I think it's about 20% more. This is fixed is more for good, really good skilled players, and this is more for the casual to mediumly good. And then you'll have one final option, turret. And you'll see that turret does, look at that, about 20% less damage. However, if you equip this, when you press the fire button, you don't have to hold it. Your ship, so long as it knows what the target is, will actually fire for you without you having to do anything else. On top of that, if you have something called a multi-crew, which is another commander inside your ship, they can actually take control of that weapon and shoot while you're flying, so you don't have to focus on multiple roles at the same time. But good luck finding that, because unfortunately multi-crew right now is not what it should be. Okay, so enough of that monkeying around. You're probably wondering, okay, so what should I do? I want to have good stuff. Well, unfortunately, the station doesn't really have anything good in regards to weapons, because, well, they're all basically fixed. So, for the time being, I'd recommend equipping a beam laser that is gimbaled on, well, both your 1 classes at the bottom. Here, unfortunately, nah, honestly, I couldn't really tell you what to do for now here. Yeah, just leave those 2 different weapons there. That's all you really need at the moment. Alright, so you're probably wondering what's next. Well, there's a lot of things actually, but to get started with, let's talk about the core internals. Now, you're probably wondering, what are core internals? These are basically the internals of your ship that really regulate everything that happens at the same time. So, you got your power plant. Your power plant is basically the ship's maximum power output it can produce while functioning with things such as everything else. Your thrusters, your frameshift drive for jumping between systems, your life support, your power distributor, your sensor, your weapons, and all the optional internals in here, like your shield generator, your super cruise assist, and your advanced docking. All of these take power. The higher your power plant is, right? Say we jump from 4E to 4D just because it's cheap. You'll notice it goes from 10.4 to 11.7 megawatts of power. You want this to be as high as it can possibly go. Alright, so we're still comfortably sitting at 361,000. What's next to upgrade, you might wonder? Let's go with the frameshift drive. You want this to be also as high as you can get, because you'll notice that at the current moment, we can jump about a maximum of 10.78. Well, 11.44 is if you're within a certain star, but we'll get to that much, much later. At the current moment, just look at the middle number, 10.78 at the bottom of the screen. That's your current jump range to go to different star systems. If you upgrade it, it goes to 12.95. You want that, because you want to jump longer without having to expend more fuel. Power distributor. Let's see what the D rating. Okay, it's 10,000. You'll notice that at the moment, as you can see here on the screen, this power distributor costs 0.4 megawatts of power. You'll see that our max is 11.7, right? The higher you go for a power distributor, the more power it's going to cost to function it. It's a 12% increase to the D rating versus the E rating. So the 3 is basically the numbers on the left categorize how big an internal is. The letter on the right categorizes how efficient for the number it is. So from 3E to 3D, it costs more power. However, you'll see it has a significant increase by percentage for weapons capacity, which means how fast your weapons can recharge after being used. Or, weapons recharge and weapons capacity, how effective and how fast. Engines capacity, engines recharge, so in those pips, basically, how much they can hold in terms of storage for the pips and usage, as well as how fast they recharge. And same goes for systems capacity and recharge. So you obviously want to bring that up. Sensors, they're important, but to get started here, I wouldn't worry too much. Still upgrade them, just because why not? Life support, that's up to you. So say your ship gets shot to shit. Your shields are down, and your canopy breaks. Because guess what? Your canopy, the glass in front of you, without shields can break. If you don't have a good enough life support, like right now, it's at 5 minutes. If you don't have good enough life support to get back to the station, you'll die. So depending on if you really care about it, if you don't think that, you'll be able to make it back, say your shields break and you can't be opened, you might want to upgrade this to 7 minutes and 30 seconds, or the maximum I believe is 25 minutes, but you wouldn't really need 25 minutes just to get back to a station. Thrusters. These are equally important. This basically, thrusters categorize how fast you can move on regular speed and boost speed. The total mass of your ship, which also accounts as to how far you can jump. As you can see, thrusters of 4E, our current jump range is 13.28, but with 4D, it's 13.62 because our mass, the mass of the thrusters is lower. The power draw is higher, obviously, but the mass is lower than, well, yeah, that, which means we can jump further. On top of that, the pitch, roll, and yaw, so going, left in a circle, right in a circle, forward in a circle, backwards in a circle, and turning left and right like you're, driving a boat, those degrees will actually change and increase so you can do sharper, tighter turns when it comes to combat. So obviously you want this to be as good as it can as well. So these are all your core internals, and these are all important. Okay. Obviously, we'll fix with these later once we get enough money and go to a different station. Now that you got your Cobra Mark III and your core internals that are pretty much as good as they can be because, the 4D D rating is the highest that this station, keyword station, can offer. As you go to different stations in different systems, they'll offer all the way up to A ratings. And A ratings are the best. However, they're the most expensive, and they cost the most power from your power plant. Going back to our new stuff, right? Let's go to our optional internals. So, you could monkey around with this in mind, but for the time being, it's really not that important to me. So I'd recommend you sell all these cargo racks, as I'll show you how to get money, a lot more money, later on. Alright, so right now our shield is at 92. It's okay. A little bit better than the Sidewinder, but not by much. Let's get rid of that. Let's buy ourselves a better shield. Now, in our optional internals, a ship has a lot. And this is not even all of it. I know, crazy. So let me just go over everything real quick. Your cargo racks. Your cargo racks are basically storage containers inside your ships that you can use for scavenging things in space from other NPCs or players, or mining. You get mining materials from asteroids, you bring them back to the station, you sell them, and that's how you make a lot of money. That's how we're going to do it. You got your collection limpets. Your limpets, based on their roles, are basically these tiny little robot things that flow in space and do whatever you want, based on the role it is. So collection limpets, they'll collect things. You press RB, they'll fly into space, they'll collect it, fly back into your ship, drop it off, repeat the process. Your flight assist, that's your super cruise assist and your advanced docking computer. At the moment, I'm pretty sure we already have that installed. Most ships do. Your fuel scoop. This is very important because say you're flying in space, right? And your fuel is low, and you might not have enough to get back to a station. What do? Or you're jumping between star systems and your fuel is low. And you just made a jump and your fuel is so low that it's basically almost over. What do? You have a fuel scoop. And a fuel scoop is basically this optional internal that allows you to fly close to a star, not directly on the surface, but just a few 100,000 kilometers outside of its gravitational pull, where you can actually take the hydrogen from the vicinity of the star and turn it into fuel for your ship. Fuel tank obviously holds more hydrogen or whatever fuel source the ship uses in the ship. Fuel transfer limpets, as the name implies, will take fuel out of your ship and give it to another ship that needs it. Hull reinforcements. As the name implies, you see how at the bottom left of the screen there's shield strength, top speed, boost speed, total mass? Well, You can also see integrity if you press on this. You'll notice that current integrity, it's not really that high, but with hull reinforcements, you can increase it by a few numbers. So if you go for 1E, it increases your hull from, I think right now we're at 216, so we go to 296. If you go to 2E, it'll increase it by 150, so it'll be at 366. Depending on how you want your ship to be, if you want it to be shield strength or hull strength, it's really up to you. Planetary vehicle hangars. This is basically what you have in your ship that allows you to have a little buggy, so when you go on a planet, you can drive around on it. Refinery. This is what you usually use for mining. So say you go to an asteroid belt and you want to take the asteroid chunks of the material you're mining and refine it into something more sellable on the market. That's what this is for. You collect the asteroid chunks. It goes in your ship with the collection limpets, refines it to the material that you need. You store it in a cargo rack, go back home, sell it, profit. Repair limpets. Say your ship's hull is damaged. Like you saw earlier at the video, my ship's hull was at 46%. Not good. These limpets will actually repair your ship back to 100. However, they only repair the hull, the health of your ship, not all of these modules inside of it. There's actually something called AFMS, Automatic Field something, which basically repairs the modules. Automatic Field Module or system or something like that, which basically repairs the modules, all these things in your ship. You got a shield cell bank. What this is, it kind of assists your shield generators. So say your shields are at 50%. You pop one of these with a RBLB, your primary secondary fire button, and it regenerates your shields, but only by a certain amount. You'll see, based on the grade as well as the number of the shield cell bank, it'll cost power, of course, but if you go from 2E to 2D, you'll see it's 14 shields per second, or 18 shields per second, for about 2 seconds. At the top right, that's how long it is. Bottom right, ammo clip size, which is what is stored for usage, and ammo maximum, how many you have in reserve, so in total 3. It'll basically heal your shields by 36. Do the math. So they're important when you have bigger class ships and bigger shield generators, but for our ship, not that important. Finally, we go to our shield generator, the one we really care about. 3E, well, I guess that is the best that they have here, so I apologize. We're actually going to buy this back because I thought they had at least 4D. Anyway, so I guess that's the best shield generator I can have at the moment. So anyway, in the meantime, I'll monkey around with the other optional internals. You'll always want a fuel scoop. Get the 2E as it can hold more hydrogen per scoop versus the lower class. We'll also want fuel tanks for the time being, just to make further jumps. You're going to want a planetary vehicle hangar, just in case you decide to go on a planet and mess around. And at the current moment, that's about all we can do. I guess if you have any extra money, you could spend it on these. Because why not? Alright. Now you're going to say, okay, we outfitted our ship from a core internals, optional internals, and hard points. But we're missing something. Utility mounts. As they are right now, these two are the utilities aren't very important for you. But I'll explain them anyway. So chaff launchers. You'll notice a lot of NPCs use these. Basically, depending on how you play, when you deploy these, we know how our weapons are gimbaled or even turreted. When you deploy these, it's kind of like flares for your ship. They make it so the gimbaled and turreted weapons go haywire and they can't track the ship, giving you enough time to do a counteroffensive attack or just get out of the system. Shield boosters, as the name implies, increases your ship's shields. And you know what? In fact, I'm thinking about it, equipping it, but the issue is the shield boosters themselves cost a lot of power. But they do increase your shields. This one is 8%, as let it goes higher, they do more. So I guess for the time being, why not? It couldn't kill. Our ship's power plant is good enough that it can hold enough. Alright, so we went from, what, 92 to 106? Not bad, not bad. Okay. So it's going to give you this message after you're done with all of that. And you're going to say, okay, what does that mean? You've made changes to a module that needs to be in a fire group. You can set the fire group at the right-hand cockpit panel. You're going to say, okay, and back out. Well, after you refuel, of course. And back out, and you're going to say, what does that mean? What does that mean at all? That basically means when you hold X and press right on the D-pad, and you press LB and RB to go to your fire group, there you are. Remember how we assigned weapon systems to the right bumper as 1? We're going to do that for all our weapons. Well, I do that for my weapons, but you can do it however you want. Okay, so now that everything's basically done, and you can actually even see the modules that you installed, their grade, how much power they take, as well as their health, and the priority. Priority, I could go into that, but at the moment it's not really that important. Okay, so now that you have everything, you're going to wonder, what do you do next? Well, that's the great thing about Elite Dangerous. The next thing that you do is really up to you. Open your galaxy map and see what's out there. So you'll notice at the galaxy map there's 5 different options. You got your you got your description of the system you're in, draw me. You got your route, which allows you to search for what system you want, as well as your current location, your select location, and all these other things, right? You got your bookmark, which basically shows, right, the system that you want to be in. So say we're in here and we want to go to Jami. Boom. It'll take us right there. You got your classification, and there's 3 kinds. Realistic, which is stars, right? How they look on the map, on the galaxy-wide map. The different colors indicate the different stars they are. Then you have a map, and your map could be, again, adjusted on these different classifications. I usually use Allegiance or the Star class. Now, Allegiance, there's 3 different types. There's the Federation, the Empire, the Alliance. Those are the 3 most important. They're the 3 classes or power classes of the Milky Way galaxy in the human space bubble. Then you have independent systems. Independent systems usually means that they're not affiliated with any of these. So say you have a bounty by the Federation, you can fly to either of these 3 star systems and no police force will target you there. Then you have all this stuff. You could monkey around with it, but I usually don't. It doesn't really matter to me. I usually categorize things by the star class because O, B, A, F, G, K are the star systems that are the ones you're actually allowed to refuel at. All these other stars, M, L, T, Y, Proto, Carbon, Wolf, White, non-sequence stars, those you can't refuel with your fuel scoop, which means, say you go into, say you're low on fuel and you're in one of these systems, tough luck. You got to go to one of these stars. So usually, whenever you want to go anywhere in this galaxy, you want to have things categorized by this stars by the map section. And then lastly, you got your power play. Now this is a whole ass video all on its own that honestly you could learn, but that's like deep into the game, and we'll get to that when we get into that. So right now, let's stick around with map and the star class, and you're probably wondering, well, where do I want to go next? We're here at Draw Me, right? But what do I do? Where's it to go? Well, Draw Me is basically draw me and or actually sorry, not just draw me, but you see all these little dotted areas, well, not dotted, like I guess bookmark areas, these symbols, right? These are basically the symbols for the starting area for new Elite Dangerous players, which means if you go outside these symbols in open play, you'll face actual real players that have been playing this game for a long, long time. But this is basically the tutorial area. Well, for most players, once you feel comfortable and you're out of here, well, just use your right and left joysticks to control where you want to go, and just get out. Get out and start exploring. So how about this? We'll go to Nana Bozo. So we'll plot the route, and boom. You'll see how many jumps it takes. About 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, okay, maybe just 3. My apologies. Alright, so now we have where we want to go. You'll see bottom right, that little blue itch at the far right. That's how much fuel it costs to get to the next star. And this is where Elite Dangerous really starts. This is where you, as the player, begin exploring. This is where your story starts, essentially. Man, oh man, is it fun. Hey, Lamau. Alright. Just turn night vision on. Let's see what that guy is. Oh, it's a crate. No thanks to that. Alright. Now you'll notice that the ship seems to turn faster, fly better, all that stuff, because of the modules that we put in it. Boom. Now it's time to go at our own pace. Don't mind me. I'm just you know, equipping the weapons out just to see how they look. 4 weapons is definitely better than 2, to be honest. All right. So our mass lock is gone because we're far enough away from the station. There's our new star system, so let's jump to it. Don't mind me. I'm just having fun until this thing is fully charged up. Boom. I don't remember the ship being as shaky as it used to be. Maybe it's because it's a smaller class ship? Oh, what the hell? My apologies, I guess. What kind of class star is this, actually? Hang on a second. Oh, that's why. I get it now. Even though we chose this class star type for the map as designation. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot apply filter to route. So when you have all these star classes assigned, make sure you press this button. Otherwise it won't target the stars that you can actually fuel scoop at. So as you can see, that red star, no, we couldn't fuel scoop from that. I mean, there it is. It looks cool, but no, we couldn't fuel scoop from that. Yes, make sure you apply the filter to route for those star classes. Otherwise, you'll make the same mistake I made and jump into a star system that doesn't have a star you can refuel at, and basically screw yourself. And that's never any good. Ever. Oh, look at that. India does have a star you can refuel at. Usually they're about like orange to white to whatever. But you notice that as I'm close to the star, not exactly on it, but close to it, my fuel is refueling by a few tons per second. And finally we'll go to Nanabazo. Nanabazo, Nanabazo. Really, DeLacy are the ones that make this ship, huh? That makes sense. I haven't read up on all my details. I'm already harmless? Oh my god. Yeah, you'll notice that as you kill, what do you call it? Different categories of ships in this game, because of their rank, your rank in turn increases as well. So anyway, I'm gonna go to the nearest station that's in this system, if they have one. If they don't have one, or if you can't find it, hold Y and press, sorry, not right, left on the D, or, God, hold Y and press right on the D-pad, as we assigned it earlier, and you can actually see everything that's in the system map. Additionally, if you don't know how to do that, or if you haven't assigned your map to do that, bring your speed down to 0, hold X, press left on the D-pad, under navigation, go down to system map, and then press RB 3 times to go to different ports, and boom. That's where we want to go. You'll find that it's locked, Super Cruise Assist, look at it, it's 2.4 thousand kilo light seconds away. That's going to take forever, so, you know, I usually just press RT and X and go at max speed until I'm around 800, 700 light seconds away, and then allow Super Cruise Assist to do what it's got to do. And those are some good textures, my god! You wouldn't believe if I told you this game was actually from 2014. Oh wait, it is. I know, crazy. You know, there's so much love for such an old game. But there is. Would you believe me if I told you the front of the ship, right? This face right here is basically what the Federal Corvette looks like, only bigger. Yeah, right? It almost looks like a slice of pizza in a way. You're just missing that front triangular edge. Yeah, we're flying a blue pizza in space. That's something. Oh crap! Never mind. I thought I was going past station. All right. Now let the ship do what it's gotta do. And we're gonna check here to see if there's any Haz-res sites. Ah, lucky us, there is. Okay, dope, awesome. So, for the next video, we'll go from this, you know, okay enough ship, this beautiful Cobra Mark III, to something a little bit better, right? However, from this video to the next video, I would highly recommend you go to a high resource extraction site, play around with the cops, or sorry, let the cops assist you while you play around with the enemy to get the money, and make at least 10 million. You're gonna say like, what, 10 million? I can't do that. Well, think about it. In 2 minutes, we made, well, we had 800,000. Now we only got 64. Or sorry, not 2 minutes. In 10 to 20 minutes, we made $800,000. I'd say in about an hour-ish to 2, we can make 5 to 10 million. That's our goal. Once you guys make that much money, you know, that's when we go on to the next video, and we go from 10 million to a few dozens to even maybe 100 million, depending on how smooth things go. But anyway, you know, I'll land inside a station and we'll wrap it up there. Bada bing, bada boop. Yeah, baby.
DeLacy, Mike, Romeo, Alpha. Please check your speed on approach to this facility.
This man wants me to check my speed. Can you believe this guy? Imposters now.
Flight assist off.
Da, 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 da.
Flight assist on.
Access authorized. Clear to land at docking bay 01.
Alright. And there we are, Commanders. So, we're at our new station, a new place, and just before we get off, I want to see what kind of ships they have. Oh, you see that went from, I think, 8 to 19. Yes, they have the hauler. Good, good. And the keelback, 3 million. Hey, you see as the ships go up, they cost more. Yeah, there we go, the Fer-de-Lance. One of the bigger endgame ships. The Python, again, there it is. And the Anaconda, as well as the Cutter. Oh yeah, these are big boy expensive ships. But we're gonna get them. Believe me, we're gonna get them. Alright. Now that I know that we're somewhere where things are Gucci, this is where we'll end. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. If not, leave a comment on my video, and I'll try to explain as best as I can in writing. But until next time, Commanders, I'll see you guys when you get that 5 to 10 mil. Deuces.